This is the beginning of a story called House Cleaning. After walking an hour on bare feet down the long dirt road, Crescentia rested at the town cemetery, laying her head against a half-upturned tombstone. There were no flowers in sight, just overgrown weeds and remnants of food packages left behind by the homeless who used the flat graves for dining tables. She had nowhere to go. When Loli, her employer for the past 20 years, came home to find her father, Tatai, in bed with Crescentia, she threw the maid out nude as she was, and then a minute later tossed a dirty duster out onto the porch. Crescentia slipped the loose house dress over her head, searching the empty pockets. Her entire savings of 350 pesos was safety pinned to the pocket of her duster, the one that Loli would not return. Crescentia didn't understand why Loli had reacted the way she did. Hadn't Loli referred to her as a second mother to her children? Wasn't there a reservoir of goodwill for all the times she looked after the kids when they fell out of trees, were bitten by spiders, or encountered a ghost in the fields while Loli was at work in the bakery and Ricardo tended to the fish ponds? Tatai didn't come to her defense either, which surprised Crescentia. He'd been following her around the house for years, long before his wife became ill. If Crescentia were hanging wet clothes in the backyard, Tatai would be nearby, sitting on a low stool, peeling lonzanas by a fallen mango tree, asking if she needed help. Whenever she struggled to retrieve rice from the large wooden crate in the back, out by the dirty kitchen, he was there to steady the shaky, loose ladder, guide her down slowly with his hand on her hip. In many small ways, their love had been developing over the years, and as Tatai's wife became seriously ill, relegated to the upstairs bedroom to die, he'd shown even more interest in Crescentia. She knew it was a sin to be in love with a married man, but if it were so wrong, would God have placed them in such close proximity and allowed their feelings to grow over time? Crescentia had lived to the age of 48 before experiencing her first real love. All other encounters with men were not only secret, but one way. At her previous job, she was groped by the oldest son in the house and thrown out when she complained to his mother. At the position before that, a drunk uncle pulled her onto his lap after he'd lost a card game. But Tatai was gentle, slowly moving inside her under the thin sheet in her bedroom upstairs while the kids were at school. She imagined becoming his wife one day, holding a real place in the family, a family she already felt was her own. Crescentia spent the night on a nearby beach in an abandoned shanty, surrounded by broken beer bottles, cigarette butts, and an incomplete stack of playing cards. She thought of Tatai sitting on his low stool in the back, out by the wind-blown mango trees, far beyond where the children played, sitting patiently, waiting for a bird to land in his homemade trap. There was no going back. She walked to the shore, dipped her hands into the warm water. The fishermen were out. She wiped her face, smoothed her hair, and headed back out to the dirt road towards Loli's brother's house. A thin, tan dog jumped out of the road seconds before a car sped by. All of Loli's siblings and relatives lived on this street, Gonzalez Street, a name Loli was proud of. Loli's elder sister owned a one-story house across the street, but she didn't live there and hadn't been in the home for over 15 years at least, since she last visited from Chicago with her designer clothes and 2 large boxes filled with perfume, lipstick, soap, Hershey's chocolate bars, and used T-shirts for relatives. Instead, a maid and 2 young schoolgirls who Loli's sister informally adopted from a poor cousin stayed in the house. Each month, a check arrived from the States, enough for food and tuition for the girls' studies. Loli's second sister, Giulietta, lived in a spare house a few plots down on the same side of the street. Everywhere Crescentia turned, she was faced with another Gonzalez. Giulietta's front room, which was supposed to serve as a living room, was filled with 2 loud printing press machines, large steel contraptions that looked as if they dated back to the 19th century. All through the day and night, the machines clapped with noise as pages of calendars, wedding invitations, funeral announcements, and the town newspaper were printed. Crescentia entered Giulietta's house while the job was in progress. She stood before her, showed her empty palms. "You're not welcome here anymore, Crescentia," Giulietta hollered above the noise of the machines. So Crescentia had to leave Banuan. There was no money in her pockets, her muscles were sore, her skin was dry, and she needed a proper shower. She walked a mile into town where people were setting up a stage in the town square, hanging large bright paroles around the perimeters of the dance floor. The winter fiesta was coming. Across the way, she noticed a bus station. A large crowd of travelers pushed their way onto a bus headed for Manila. She stared at the sign, Manila. She had only been a few times years ago when she accompanied Loli and her family to the airport to pick up her sister visiting from the States. Crescentia climbed into the baggage area, crouched in a corner, hid behind several large bags, and rolled her body up as small as possible. The engine started after several failed attempts. When the driver shut the door to the cargo area, it went dark, except for a few rusty holes where light filtered in. With one eye, Crescentia peeked through the small opening. She was on her way. Crescentia made the sign of the cross, asked God to protect the Gonzalez family, and forgive her for not paying the bus fare. I'm sure you understand, Lord. As the bus made its way out of the Dagupan city, Crescentia lay down, using a suitcase as a pillow, and fell asleep. After making several stops to pick up passengers in towns along the way, the bus finally pulled into the bus terminal in Metro Manila. Crescentia heard the shuffle above her as passengers disembarked. When the driver opened the cargo area, a burst of light came into Crescentia's temporary cave. She'd grown comfortable in the dark over the past few hours, even with the constant bouncing each time the bus navigated the pothole-filled roads. She felt she could stay there forever. No one in the world knew where she was, except, of course, for God. Crescentia gathered up her duster with one hand, preparing to escape. When the driver pulled the last few suitcases out of the compartment, she rushed out from behind the largest of the bags and pushed past him. "Jesus, Mary, Joseph," he screamed. He grabbed Crescentia by the duster, but she kept running, even as it started to rip. She turned around and bit the driver's knuckles, which forced him to let go. He chased her across the terminal, screaming "Bastos," as she pushed through the crowd toward a busy street filled with 3 zigzag lanes of cars, tricycles, jeepney, and people. Crescentia ran without looking back. She blended into a busy marketplace. When she turned around, ready for possibly a second round of chase, the driver was gone. I'll stop there. Thank you.